Chris, I work at the Harney Sons Teas. My father started it in 1983, and I've joined him in 1988. So before that, I was working in hotels in Chicago and had gone to the Cornell Hotel School and later on to Northwestern University's graduate business school. So was out in Chicago there for a bit, and then the last 37 years, I believe math is correct. I've been here in Millerton, New York, and doing tea tasting, doing the finance, and also our web business, direct to consumer, as well as international. I work with my brother Paul, who is a bit younger than me, they say, and he does production. So I go by vice president of product. I work with a great team, which we're up in our tasting room right now. And we got my tasting buddy, Albita, that assists me. She was just over in Africa with me. And then she has a great team also. So this is where we taste our teas.
Awesome. So why tea?
Why tea? Well, because my dad asked me. I was going down the road in hotels and was a general manager of a hotel out in Chicago back in the 80s. And I was looking to put together a deal, and no deal was being had. So when my dad asked me to join him, I joined him in 88. Didn't take a salary the first year because it was a startup. And even though it was year, 5 of the startup, it still didn't have enough money to pay me. So that's why tea. I had been trained a little bit in wine, so I did like nice tasting beverages. Of course, wine gives a little sedative effect, and tea gives you a little bit of a jolt, if you will, minor jolt, though.
Okay, awesome. So how did you get traction with the tea business?
Oh, I think it's little bit by little bit, a little bit like that frog that didn't know it was being cooked. So I think that we'd have never taken any outside money. We were sort of, as they said, the first million was was the hardest thing to do, and then after that, it became a little bit easier with that. So we got Barnes and Noble maybe 20 years ago, approximately, and that was our first large account, and we still have them. And so that's been that's where it started us down the road. Later on, bigger other retailers came there. Hospitality was a big original push. It's not quite as strong as that now. We put our first website up in 1996, right after Al Gore discovered the internet.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
so that's big. That's our largest single piece of business is direct to consumer, largest group of business. Amazon is our largest single customer. So it's become a little bit of a. I've come to love tea. I wrote a book about tea. Now it was a long time ago now, but it still resonates very well. And so we've enjoyed it. It's become great for the family, and financially, it's doing okay now.
Got it. Why do people love Harney and Sons tea?
Well, my dad always used to say that anybody could buy good tea, but practically nobody does. So we decided to really put an emphasis on great tasting teas. So we have in front of here a very nice sencha from Japan. This is our Earl Grey Supreme, and I didn't quite see which this one is, Earl Grey. So it's a love of great tasting teas. People like that since we were in the hospitality business. My father was a hotel manager, as was I. So we try to treat people very well, both our employees and then of course our customers. So I think that is the thing that makes it different.
Okay. So really high quality, really delicious
Great
teas.
tasting. We also chose, there's different price points in life, and we chose a price point which wasn't quite as high, maybe as some of our other competitors, but generally better quality. So, I mean, I guess we had a lower margin, you'd have to say, but it's worked out in the end.
Hmm. Okay, got it. How did you make sure your tea was higher quality and tasted better than
Well,
competitors?
Chris, I became a bit of a tea taster, and then I was lucky enough to have a great tea buddy, Elvita and Cardenas. She was originally from Colombia, but and I call her Juanita Valdez. And so it's been we taste lots of teas. Maybe at the end here, I'll show you what we'll keep those teas up there, Isabella. And we taste lots of teas each day. So we get great tasting teas. We buy more expensive teas than most of our competitors. Um, and then we do the if it's a flavored tea like our hot cinnamon spice, which is our number one tea, that is a blended here. We do about 1,000 pounds a day that we blend up. So it's attention to details of making sure everything tastes good. And then we taste the teas several times during the day. So we're always looking to make sure that we have great tasting teas. I learned from an old German guy that only to buy teas that make you smile. And that makes sense. So everyone would rather smile. Sometimes I don't know if you've drunk much tea or not, Chris.
Hmm.
Um, was that a yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
Well, I
every
mean, a
day.
lot of times if your mouth doesn't go involuntarily doesn't go into a smile, if the tea is bitter or something like that, and you have to add sugar, then you have to go. That's not a naturally sweet tasting tea. So basically, a tea plant over there in Asia, it's harvesting the sun. It's taking the electrical impulses, energy from the sun. Sorry, the energy impulses from the sun, and converting that into sugars in the leaves for itself, not for us,
Hmm.
but we do enjoy it. So we only buy teas that have enough residual sugar in them, if you will, left over in them that they taste good.
Hmm. Okay, awesome. And for your business model, is your revenue predominantly from direct to consumer or
That's
Amazon
about
or
25% of our business. Amazon's about 15%. Hotels and restaurants, about 10%. We have some big box stores, which are also about 10%. So it's a lot of different small businesses. We also have two little shops, one in Manhattan and one in Soho down in Manhattan, but in also up here in Millerton. We have a bottling business, so we have some direct store. So we got like 4 or 5 models, honestly. So it's a bunch of, if you will, smaller businesses that we've worked through.
hmm. Got it. There seems to be just endless interesting stories with all these different teas,
Yes,
and acquiring them and enjoying them and how can you share
sure, sure.
any of those?
Sure, like we were just this year, as you may be aware, tea is not grown in the States very much, so it's a high tariff item nowadays. And
Mm,
so we this year we decided to go see if we could see what's on Kenya, and we had been just starting to, because Kenya is only a 10% tariff country, uh, and so we went there, and then we also went to a country, Mozambique, which we were just starting to buy from recently, and we went to those two countries. And so we flew in, and then oftentimes, tea is up in a higher rural spot. So those were very exciting trips. Waterfalls and When we were up in Kenya, we were about 8,000 feet up on a plateau. I guess it's the Rift Valley is right near there. And so it's we're up 8,000 feet, beautiful, sunny, flat because it's a plateau. And then in Mozambique, it was there was a lot of mountains around there, so it was a very lovely spot. And we were able to find some reasonably good teas from those places. Other years, the year before, we were in China and Taiwan. And in China, we went to Zhejiang province where the famous the famous dragon well comes from, and it's next to a city, but up in the hills, it's a protected spot. So that was fun. And then in Taiwan, we also went to a, uh, a bunch of small estates where they grow oolongs over there. That's the thing that they're famous for now. They have a storied history, but of course, China has the most storied history. And then the year before, we were in India, southern India, and Sri Lanka, which we were up in the mountains in southern India, what they call the Nilgiris. And then in Sri Lanka, we went to a variety of both large places and then some artisanal spots. So we try to mix up
Wow.
large volumes, like we're getting in, we get in container loads, so 40-foot containers of tea. So those are ones that will blend into, say, the Earl Grey there. And the that's that. But then we also get, like yesterday, we just got in some from Sri Lanka. We got in, I think it's like 15 pounds of a special lemongrass herbal blend that's done at this lovely estate that we visited called Ambra, AMBA. And Ambra was a lovely is a lovely spot. It's a little bit of a NGO, non-governmental operation where everything is done by hand. And so it's a lot of work for us to get 15 pounds of lemongrass. We should all probably put in the next order for it so we get it here. But
Yeah.
it's a blend of both large volumes and small volumes. And
Hmm.
right now where matcha is a big thing in the United States. That's that powdered green tea from originally from Japan. And so today we're getting in a 40-foot container of matcha, which we got our last one in about a month ago, and it's already gone. So a 40-foot container, that's one of those big boxes you see trailers you see going down the road. And we're going through one of those a month almost now. So
Oh, wow.
it is crazy, and the Japanese honestly have problems keeping up with it. There was just an article in the Washington Post yesterday about the shortage of matcha.
Hmm.
You saw it or not, but
Hmm.
they seem to be coming.
That's
A lot
cool.
of people are realizing that they've created a large demand.
Hmm. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, it is incredible that we buy that much matcha. It's twice as much
Yeah.
as we were already. We're doing twice as much of what we bought last year, the whole year. So it's just like anybody,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
hard to
these are
capacity.
such
Yeah.
these are such cool adventures you go on to find the tea. I feel like you could you could start like a reality show or like a YouTube channel called like Searching for Tea, searching for the great best tea.
Well, we need some guy like you, Chris, to help us actually make that happen.
Yeah. Hey, we can talk. Um, that's really cool. Um, okay, I think um yeah. So where can if listeners want to go somewhere to try your teas, what's the best place? The Barnes and Noble or
Well, Barnes and Noble is one. Target, our own website, harney.com. Is
hmm
one that we recommend. Of course, we're on Amazon. That has been growing quickly. That hasn't overtaken our own website, but it is growing quickly. Um, so those are some of the places that you could buy it. Lots of little stores. many restaurants and hotels. I don't know, where are you based there, Chris?
I'm in Barcelona, Spain.
Well, we're not too heavy in Barcelona, but you're a lucky man.
Thank you.
We
Thank
were
you.
just chatting
I
up
agree.
our friends in Madrid. Um,
Cool.
so we do have importers in Madrid, but as you may know, Madrid and Barcelona don't know where the other one is. Um, right?
It's
They
true.
sort of have a little bit of uh, well, it's a little bit like China in the sense that several ancient countries have been stitched together over the centuries, and
Hmm.
they don't always. Peter does not talk to Paul.
Yes, just watch him play soccer and you'll understand.
Yes, Real Madrid. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this is so fascinating, just your adventure with tea. I have one final question for you. It's an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like. And the question is, what are you working towards?
Well, we have the biggest thing we have now is trying to manage the U.S. the current U.S. Situation,
Yes.
which is we changing, of course, but we're trying to manage our way through this. So we've had to resource where, or not resource, but we've had to find different sources based on what's going on in Washington, and so that's the biggest sort of thing that we have. It's a new constraint inside the business, so we have to work with that.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's challenging. Um,
Well, it is challenging. We've found ways to make it work, because tea is not grown really. We do buy a little bit of tea in the States. So we buy something from New Orleans, we buy something from Hawaii, but there really doesn't exist any sort of volume in the United States. We could not do a 20-foot container, the smaller ones,
mhm,
rather than the larger ones. That
mhm.
would be very impossible. So that's the thing that we're working on. We're always doing new blends. We did one just, we have a contest which is coming up where the customers suggest a blend and then choose it, and then we make it. Last year's was something called True Blue Oolong. So that was a semi-oxidized tea from China, and then we add in some pea flower from Thailand, which changes color. So that's the blue and oolong.
Cool.
So true blue sounds great, and it's starting to cook. We're just drifting into our high season now. With the weather changing, I don't know. I guess in Barcelona it may not have changed, but here in the States last night it was 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Oh, wow.
that's starting to make people think of a little bit of hot tea. We do have iced teas and things like that,
Yeah.
but the hot tea is where our main source of business is.
Hmm. Got it. Awesome. And where can my audience find out more about you and Harney and Sons Tea?
Well, a website's a great place to do it. My dad started the business 44 years ago, and
Wow.
we've been working at it since then. It's a family run, no outside investors, and it's been great so far, and we think it'll keep going to great. We've got 300 some odd employees.
Wow.
We're sold around the world, as you mentioned, Spain, and we just sent a container off to Luxembourg today. So those are all there. We've got a Chinese supplier is going to be here in a half hour or so. So it's an international business, and we enjoy that, and it makes life exciting for us.
Hmm. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Mike, well, thank you so much for taking the time, man. This is I enjoy tea almost every day. Drink some chamomile, some ginger. You've really opened my mind to the complexity and sort of
Well, happy to send you a little
differentiation.
bit there for you to try. Since you told me what you like, now I can send you something. We just got in a little while ago this year's crop of chamomile from Egypt. You know, we like the Egyptian
Oh.
chamomile. Seems to have the most amount of sweetness to it. And then we go through a lot of ginger, believe it or not. And then since you're in Spain, we buy Spanish orange peel. We find that the Spanish orange peel is the best in the world
Oh wow.
and has a little bit of both sweetness, and then it has the way they dry it. It gets roasted a little bit, which gives a complexity to it. So Spanish
Mhm.
orange peel, we buy several containers of that.
Oh, awesome. Great. Well, Mike, this was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the
Sure.
time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
awesome. Awesome. And to all our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in and keep on growing out there, everybody. And enjoy some tea. See ya.